Welcome. It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. You guys, I am Liv, and I've been to a lot of conferences and retreats and things like that. And I've talked about it before. I'm not a big fan of women's ministry, or women's anything. It doesn't even have to be religious. I'm just not a big fan of it because I'll tell you why. I went to this was not Catholic. I went to a women's weekend. I will not say what it is because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But here's why I got upset. We were told when we got to this weekend, it was really expensive. Okay. Really expensive. And I was like 25. So obviously last summer, it was a lot of money. And we get there and they say, hi, welcome. We have taken your luggage and we put it away in your rooms. And we're like, oh, this is exciting. And they said, so a couple of things that have changed. Number one, you're now in bunks and they're communal rooms. So think camp. And I was like, camp? We're like grown women. You know, I was one of the youngest ones. So now I'm in a bunk bed with like a ton of women. And then number two, and this is why y'all are going to understand. They said, there's no talking from this moment on. And I just froze. I was like, what do we mean no talking? Wait, this isn't a religious weekend. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? No talking. And they were serious. They were totally serious. So for the next 3 days, okay, and it's not religious, so it's not like we're in prayer. It's not like whatever. We were supposed to journal for 3 days. I've got nothing to journal. Like I don't want to do that. I was so mad. I'm in a bunk bed and I can't talk for 3 days. It was horrible. And they thought it was a great surprise. They were like, isn't this a lovely surprise? Isn't this making your life so much better? And we're really helping you in this. And I was like, you're making me have to go to confession. I was like, this is not at all what I want to do. Why do they think we have to be quiet? Anyway, I was not happy that I didn't know. On the other hand, I went to another women's weekend, which I got to be honest, this one was religious. Again, I'm not going to say the name because I know a lot of people love this ministry. It is quite popular in the Catholic Church, not my fave. But at one point, they told us that we had to do skits. And I was like, okay, this is interesting because yet again, I was very young. Most everyone on this weekend was like in their 60s. And I'm not kidding. I'm not saying that. That's like a true fact. So I was in my early 30s. And so when I heard skit, because I'm Liv and I think I should have been on Broadway, but God forgot to give me that gift, I was like, okay. And I went all out. Wigs, I know you're not surprised, a costume, like I was like so prepared and I went so over the top. And so when it was skit time and everybody else did like, I'm the woman at the well and I'm going to talk to Jesus and I'm going to be saved by him. I literally had on like a costume with wigs and all sorts of like things. And our brand new priest, he was a baby priest. He was very young, who also happened to be a lawyer, as in like had gone to like Harvard Law. Like we're talking like uber smart kind of a guy. He decided he wanted to get to know the female community of his church. So he surprised us and came and showed up. And guess when he sat down? Right before I did my skit. And y'all, when I say my skit was big, I mean, like, I thought I was Bette Midler. Like, I was like, I was so over the top. It was not biblical. It was, I mean, I think there was a moral at the end. I had a purpose. But I didn't dress up as like Saint anybody or, you know, I didn't reenact like the wedding feast at Cana. I don't even remember what I did. I do remember I tried to do the splits at one point. I've never been able to do that. So I don't know why in the world. Here's what's really funny. That priest, I asked him if he would be my spiritual director. And he said, well, I'm going to need to pray about it. And that is true. You guys, I've had so many cringy moments at like different points of ministry, whether it was secular or religious. I'm going to talk to my good friend JW because I cannot wait to hear his cringy moments to share with me over ministry. Don't go anywhere. You are listening and watching It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison, and I am with the wonderful JW. I was sharing right before about some not so great moments, which the kids now say cringy. Did you know that kids say cringy, JW? Did you know that? Oh,
yeah, that's a thing. I've heard of it.
Is that your generation? Are you like, yeah, Liv,
I don't know.
We made that up.
Maybe.
So I was talking about some moments. One was secular, which, was a religious moment, but it was a group of women, and then a weekend with women, and then another weekend with women. And it was cringy because, I didn't really understand the project or the task at hand. Have you had any cringy moments in any type of like retreat setting or any type of maybe at Franciscan that you were like, well, this didn't at all go well?
Yeah. Maybe, I'm sure I have. I'm not sure that cringy would be always the words that I would use, but there's certainly been times where, I expect something to go some way and then it doesn't. And mostly it just ends up with me feeling bad about doing something, or like I messed something up, which is fine. I've messed plenty of things up, but I do remember when I was a student in college, we were running this retreat for some high school program, and everything went great. I was a freshman in college, and this was the first time I'd done this. And then I had a priest coming to say mass for us. And I was like, yeah, that's a great Catholic youth group thing to do on this retreat thing. And so I got like a mass kit from the chapel and took it out. And then they asked if I needed to borrow vestments. I was like, no, doesn't a priest have his own stuff? So then this priest who I was good friends with came out in like the middle of the night, got lost out at this somewhere in
where they have
Ohio,
retreats.
right
in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, got lost. He got there late. I was feeling terrible because I couldn't get in contact with him because cell service wasn't working. Finally shows up, and he's just like, all right, well, let's do this. Like, where are the vestments? And I was like, oh, I thought maybe you had them.
Okay, so that's a good question. Can you still have mass without vestments?
He said, I don't know the actual answer.
We're not going to share his name, so he can't get kicked out.
Oh. He said that he's a friar and that his one of his garments sufficed. Really? So the garments matter? I don't know.
There we go.
You're not asking the right person for that. It was cringy, right?
It was cringy
because I messed up.
But he could still do what he had to do.
Yeah,
that wasn't so bad. Listen, okay, you brought up youth retreat. When I was a youth,
yesterday,
right? So long in the 1800s. I was one of the youth kids that I was in my youth group. I met my husband in the youth group. I don't know if you know that, although we went to different high schools, but we met in the youth group. But I was the kid that would fly home from college to continue staffing youth retreats. Did you ever have those kids, or you didn't, you weren't friends with them? You're like, aren't you 22? Why are you here?
I was involved, but not really when I left high school.
Not that involved. Yeah. So I continued to come home. One time, though, I came home. I was 20 years old. So Nathan and I had just gotten engaged. I mean, that's what happens when you meet as embryos. You get married really young and engaged really young. He actually proposed at my 20th birthday. We'll have to talk about that another time. But because I'm still bitter. But anyway. We came home to staff this retreat. And this is a true story. We had a lot of adult helpers, real adults. I mean, I was 20, but come on. And so this retreat had 99 youth on it. It was huge. And then we had 20 adult staffers, not counting the college kids or, the seniors and high school staffing. So it was
it's fair size.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. It was 150 people, right? And two things happened. One, we had a flood happen, okay? And here we are in Texas. And this is back before people cared if you had tropical storms or hurricanes. They were like, you're fine. They didn't care. We didn't have enough room at our campsite, at our retreat site for the teens. So they told us to bring tents. And we put kids, high school kids, in tents. And then a hurricane happened, a tropical depression.
It was a growing experience for them.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, that would not fly today. Am I wrong? I mean, there would be like people suing and...
Yeah, certainly no one would come back.
Of course, yeah. Right. Here's the best part. It was a confirmation retreat. It was
they had to go. They couldn't get out of it.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
mandatory. It was mandatory. So we had kids that were in tents during a torrential rain we literally had a river going through the retreat site afterwards, and they all got confirmed. We didn't lose a kid. Well, I don't know if that's true.
You probably lost them afterwards.
Yeah, right? They're like, half of them, they don't go now. And they would attribute it to the river tent situation, which also, why weren't people like me put in a tent? I probably made a stink like you guys. I'm an adult. I'm not going in a tent. I deserve a bed.
Well, we heard about your experience with the bunks, so I didn't think that a tent would fly.
That's true. Yeah, I was so not doing a tent. I didn't even bring one. I was like, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. Also, how do you not know how many kids are coming to your retreat site? But that's not the worst thing that happened. Are you ready for this?
For the same weekend?
Same. You know what? For all intensive purposes.
Yeah, okay.
It is. I have no idea. This was so long ago. We had a parent staffer. You know how that is. But I don't think her kid was actually on the retreat itself. Oh, she was a confirmation sponsor because the sponsors were invited and someone come. She was a confirmation sponsor, and we used to play pranks during our confirmation retreats. Our confirmation retreats were actually pretty epic, and still to this day, some of the best moments of my life, which that might be sad. We could talk about that later or in therapy. But we would do prank night. Maybe I should share this story instead. All right, you know what?
All right,
I'm going to tell this. This is really cringy. Okay. I'm going to tell this story. The pastor of our parish, which was a huge parish at the time in Houston, we loved him. He came on Saturday, kind of like what you're talking about. We'd have the priest come in for the day. He'd give a talk. We'd do confession. Some priests would drive in because it was such a big retreat, and then he would do mass. But he would always stay over because he loved it. So he would have a cabin all to himself, a private cabin. And this is so bad. We would play pranks every Saturday on this retreat, and we would do it twice in the year. The retreat, you guys, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's fine. Oh my God. And he's died, and it's okay. Everyone pray for the repose of his soul. We totally parent trapped him. If you've ever seen the movie The Parent Trap, we got toothpaste and honey and feathers and all sorts of stuff, and we snuck in while he was asleep. Oh my God, this is so terrible. To a priest, and he was and we snuck on the ground, and then we lined his bed with toothpaste, and we put a trail of honey to the door, and we put feathers and all this kind of we booby trapped him in the Parent Trap. Literally, Haley Mills and Lindsay Lohan, This Is Your Fault. There was a group of maybe 5 of us that did it. And my job was just to watch the door. I wasn't going to crawl. I was chubby. So we knew I was I was not the one to go in there because I couldn't have gotten out. He was such a good sport because he knew that we did pranks, and he woke up the next morning and he gave a special blessing to the creative children that came in and booby trapped him in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Is that the cringiest thing you've ever heard?
As I'm listening to the story, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't like this.
It turned out well. He was our pastor for years, and I loved him.
We've gone through way too much to hear more of the story right now.
It was a long time ago. It all turned out well, and it was just toothpaste. It was just toothpaste, and we left a trail of honey. They put in a trail of honey. It wasn't a big deal, but that was it. So we wanted to pretend that we were a camp.
All right.
And he was a good sport, and he was the pastor for 20 years. Yeah, he was nice, and he kept coming back. But we didn't do any more pranks on him. I'll have to share some more of the pranks that we did at another time because we have a pretty big show that's really exciting. We're going to talk about some really great ministry things. That's why I wanted to get out of the way some silly and not so wonderful things that JW and I have admitted to. But today we're going to focus on it's going to be a different show. Usually we're all about games and silliness and being fun and all this kind of stuff. But today there's some really important things happening in the Catholic Church, and we need to take the time and use the little bit of the platform to highlight it. So we've got some exciting women who are in the OSV Innovative Challenge with us today, and something about Real True. So come right back, you guys. You are tuned into It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Hello and welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. I am your host, Liv, and I am here with, for the first time ever, double guest. This is so exciting. I've never had two guests at the same time. You guys, what is happening with 2021? It's incredible that we can do this. And of course, it's Zoom guests, which makes me sad because I really wish these lovely ladies were in my studio because I would just hug their faces off. They are so brilliant and beautiful and innovative, and I'm just going to get to them because you're going to be super impressed. We have two women. If you are looking on screen, the lovely dark brunette is Emily Mentok. And then the lovely hot blonde is Samantha Povlock. Yes? Did I say that right?
Yes. You got it straight.
Man, that is the hardest part of my job. If you're not looking, listen, there's a brunette and there's a blonde. If you're listening on the radio,
you're missing out.
So I'll say each of your names because we got listeners out there, so they'll at least know. Emily, say hi to us. Tell me where you're coming from. What city are you in?
Hi, listeners. Hi, fans of Liv. So excited to be here today. I'm coming to you from downtown Detroit. So I moved to Detroit about a year ago. I work for the Archdiocese here, and super excited to be joining today.
Yay! That's so fun. Thank you, friend. And Samantha, where are you?
I'm coming to you from the Philadelphia suburbs. I was in Chicago for the past 8 years, and we moved here during the pandemic. So I live in the farm country, trying to make friends, with any animal or person I see these days.
Do you have a farm? Or you're
No. Oh no. It's funny. Philadelphia is different than Chicago. You drive here to the grocery store and there's a farm of horses and pigs.
Yeah, so Chicago they're not known for their prairies.
No
they're known
prairies,
for
no highways.
I love it. So both of you moved during the pandemic. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, we have bonded over this and how hard it is to make friends in a new city just to start and then add on the pandemic. So that was a lot of what got us talking over the past year, I think. We were just lonely at home in our new cities.
Lonely extroverts.
Yeah.
So wait a second. 18 months ago, you both lived someplace else. Did you guys know each other, Emily and Samantha? Were you friends prior to pandemic?
I would say friends.
Instagram friends, as
Instagram friends.
My mom and my husband make fun of me. But yeah, we connected a few years ago, and then leading up to the FemCatholic conference, which was in early 2019, and then kind of stayed in touch and then lost touch and then reconnected again during the pandemic.
Okay, so FemCatholic, let's start with that project first of all. The two of you lovely ladies run I don't even know what to call it. It's amazing women ministry in Catholicism, which, can I just say, that is not something I say lightly because I'm not a big fan of women ministry, which is why I wrote my own conference.
Right?
Because I had gone to so many that I hated. But I love you ladies, and I love FemCatholic and everything. But for people who don't know what FemCatholic is, who don't know who Emily and Samantha are, would you kind of what's your elevator pitch? What is FemCatholic? What is out there?
I would say FemCatholic is a movement for women and for the church. So we used to say we're where feminism and Catholicism meet in that crossroads. And I founded it a couple years ago, 2016, after attending the Given Forum. And then, like Emily said, we stayed in touch. She's a strategic genius, so had to bring her on board. But we just had this shared passion for women who are normal and are Catholic, and decided to capitalize on that innovation.
Yeah, the normal part it's we joke about it, but there are so many amazing ministries out there, but there's like from a a spiritual journey standpoint, a little bit deeper down that funnel, to use a marketing term, and we just are really passionate about finding innovative ways to reach women who are Catholic. They're not planning on leaving the church. They identify as Catholic. This isn't like the nuns who have who are trying to build something totally outside of the church. And how do we reach them in a language that they speak, that addresses their pain points head on, not in like a sort of soft or flowery way? We kind of want to be more direct than that. And those are the women that Sam and I know and love in our own lives that we've worked with. And so we're just really passionate about figuring out how can FemCatholic exist in that space in a way that, like you said, no other women's ministry that we've seen is really doing yet. And just passionate about serving people there.
Yeah. So I want to hear what defines normal for you, because the first thing I thought of was, do these ladies watch The Bachelor and Gilmore Girls? Like,
yeah.
Like what do you like, what is normal? What does that mean to the 2021 Catholic woman that you're trying to reach? Who is she? Like, does she watch New Girl? Does she watch,
yes. Oh my gosh.
How normal are we talking about,
I mean, I would say it's not that other Catholic women aren't normal, but I think there's sometimes a Catholic bubble that we can find ourselves in. When you are looking for faith resources or trying to live out your faith in an authentic way, you find this safe place inside a bit of a bubble. And what we're trying to do is reach women who, again, are still Catholic. One of the people that we kind of look up to in terms of understanding our target audience, she described it as her gut is Catholic, her conscience is Catholic, but in her day-to-day life, there's not those points of connection. So yeah, you can watch The Bachelor with friends and drink wine, or stay up late to watch the Met Gala red carpet like we had last night and things like that.
I was watching.
Yes. Yeah, I know, me too. It was wonderful. And so it's really just, it's not about being normal, but more of like existing a little bit more outside of that bubble. And then how do we find a way to bring faith topics and faith answers to them in that space, instead of always trying to pull people into the bubble, which sometimes they're just not ready for. So it's not about saying, oh, it's okay, we're going to leave here, be distanced from your faith. We're not doing that at all. We want to be very authentic to what the church is teaching and to living out your faith in a way that's true to you. But sometimes that requires going out rather than just pulling people in.
So are you guys, at this point, I know we're in a pandemic and it's not going away. I don't know if y'all have noticed. Like, it's kind of like here forever. But is FemCatholic a online platform predominantly? Like, is that where you guys kind of service women in the Catholic Church? Or are you going to be doing conferences? And, what does that look like for the woman that's listening for the first time, or the husband that's like, oh, I'm going to like sign up my wife, or the mom who's like, I got to get my, my teenage college daughter in this. Where is this? Where are they going to find the resources of FemCatholic?
Yeah, so we are online primarily right now, like everyone, but we want to bring back our annual conference and explore building out into retreats. We actually did a small like wellness brunch in Chicago right before the pandemic. So just events like that, we're definitely looking to return to that in-person focus as well. But right now you can find us on femcatholic.com or social media, Instagram, Facebook. We also have a weekly newsletter you can sign up for. It's kind of like The Skim, if you're familiar with that. But it's our take on the world. It's called The Insight. So
I love it.
Get our insights.
So there's a little thing that I've heard a little bit about. I don't know if anybody else has, the OSV innovative. I don't even know. It's like this grant. Is it a grant? Is that kind of what it is? It's a contest.
I heard you get a crown. That's why I'm in it.
Yeah, you just crowned the winner.
It's a pretty big deal. It's like, it's this huge thing. It's this, I don't even know how many people apply for it. It's kind of new within the Catholic Church, and whoever wins gets, I think there's now 3 winners, get $100,000. And now they're giving like prize money to semifinalists, and if you're a finalist, and blah, blah, blah. And like all of this is happening right now. This will air after it happens. So we could do a segment where you guys act like you did win, because y'all are finalists, and then we could do a segment where you lost.
There you go.
And then we'll just edit it, and by we I mean JW. We'll just edit and we'll see what happens. But I think you guys are actually in real time finding out this weekend who is going to go home with $100,000. I feel like this is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory Catholic style. Like, I feel like you guys are about to have a lifetime supply of chocolate. You, FemCatholic, are one of the finalists for the OSV Innovative, what is it, Challenge? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
I think the competition is called the Challenge. And then what they'll have this coming weekend is the summit, where then all of the finalists will be presenting their final pitch, and you can hear more about the people who have been, supporting the challenge and things like that. So, but yeah, the competition is the challenge, and then this weekend will be the summit.
And so you'll find out if you're getting $100,000 this weekend. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's no big deal.
No big deal at all.
I don't understand why y'all both aren't like having like morning sickness. Like I feel like you like would be like, am I pregnant? No, I just might be getting $100,000. Like it's just, it's like, I don't know how to feel about this. How do you handle that kind of, I don't even know what to say. Like, ladies, that's a bit, y'all are like, well, we were doing well, Liv, but now you're making us feel very.
Now we're nervous.
You're like, now we're really nervous. But there's 12 finalists. Is that correct? And I'm sure they're all amazing. I think that's the other thing is like in this group, you might be like, no, I'm really happy for the people that won, because they're all doing really great work for the church. So yeah, they should get $100,000. But then you're like, oh, I won it. So give me the pitch. What will you ladies do? You won $100,000. Congratulations. What are you going to do with it? This is like Shark Tank.
That's such a great question. We're finding the pitch deck right now in preparation for the final pitch on Saturday. So we were just staying up late last night talking through the answer to that question.
While watching the Met Gala. Like,
yes,
it's like
doing all the things.
All the things.
We're watching Billie Eilish come down in a pink dress, which who was going to see that coming? Blush, I think, is the color dress that she was wearing. Again, this is airing way after the Met Gala. But so that's exciting. So you're going to have to pitch and see what you're going to do with this money. And, oh, you guys, you didn't win. What are you going to do? Lots of chocolate and wine? What do we do how do we take care of our insides? If FemCatholic still goes on because you guys do have some money, correct, from the OSV?
Yeah, they did give everybody $10,000 to kickstart our projects. So we'll keep chugging. We've been bootstrapping all along since we started. So we are independent women, as they say, figuring out how bringing content together. There's no lack of women to feature and to talk to and to hear from. So we have plenty of work to do in that space. But the OSV money definitely would help us,
move forward.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I am rooting for you. I'm, just absolutely, we will be praying for you and hoping all the best. But let's get to the real hard-hitting journalism here, ladies. I want to know, outside of the Catholic Church, who are the women that you look up to? I want to hear some not Catholic names because we're going to do something with some Catholic women later on with you two lovely ladies. I have a segment I want to do. But right now, I don't want to hear about anybody Catholic. I want to hear who are the women you look up to that are just women, just your, role models.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many amazing women. The one thing that's been helping me through this process, and Sam already mentioned the Skim as the newsletter. And I think one of the things that's so inspiring about what Carly and Danielle, who are the co-founders, co-CEOs of the Skim, did, is they found a way to uniquely serve millennial women and found a way that they want to consume information and to translate really important topics, not by dumbing it down, but by putting it into those bite-sized segments. And we really have taken that approach of there's a lot of women we know who are Catholic that appreciate the way the Skim delivers that take, but it's not Catholic. Sometimes it doesn't always align with what they're thinking or processing, or they'll have a follow-up question of, they'll see that the Skim reported that Pope Francis said something for World Day of Prayer for the Care of Creation and as like the green, eco-friendly Pope, but they won't actually know where in Catholic sources to go and find that follow-up or things like that. So I'm really inspired by them and the way that they understand their audience so well, which is really at the heart of this of FemCatholic, is a care for the women that we're trying to reach. And the way that Carly and Danielle do it, I would say definitely inspires me in the work that we've been doing, especially through the Innovation Challenge and starting to understand, what is the business model? How are we going to make this a sustainable ministry to reach the target audience we're trying to serve?
Samantha, what about you? Who is someone that isn't Catholic that you're just like, oh, she's so rad?
Oh my gosh. I don't know why my brain keeps going to Tina Fey. Is that okay?
Is that a thing?
She's absolutely someone that I look up to all the time.
You know, I just think women carving out their space in their industry inspires the heck out of me. Like, because we all know those barriers are just that there's this, it's an uncomfortable thing when you're just trying to find your way as a woman in your industry and also still be yourself. My day job is a project manager at a bank, and you know, I'm navigating that space there. And I just think Tina Fey is hilarious, and you know, people see her as a comedian, but she has produced so much. And I was listening to her audiobook earlier this summer for some
She's
laughs.
inspirational. Yeah.
So
no, I think that's fantastic. So let's also hear, like, what has been like the best like new food that you found in your new towns? You're both in really great towns. Detroit has Detroit pizza, which I love. You got to be a deep
pizza.
Yeah, you got to, like, you know, the deep dish with the cheese to the edge, and I'm like, they're speaking my love language. And then Philly, you'll have something called a cheesesteak. So have you ladies found your new city? Like, have you found, okay, are you starting to figure out where do we get the good food? Where's the good date nights? Where's the good, you know, all that kind of jazz? Are you figuring it out?
That's a great question. You know, coming from a small town, I was living in South Bend, Indiana before, and having so many more options for restaurants and more interesting cuisine to eat has been a really fun part of the pandemic. Even if we had to start by just doing takeout when we moved here for date night, because everything was still shut down, especially here in Michigan. It's funny you mentioned Detroit style. So I would say one of the most fun places we found here is, I actually eat mostly vegan. And so we found a vegan Big Mac Detroit style pizza from a place called Grandma Bob's in Corktown. It sounds so random and not like a pizza at all, but it's become one. It was the first meal we had when we moved in, like sitting eating pizza off the floor with all of our boxes around us, and it's a go-to favorite when we need to celebrate something, like the one hopefully after, if we win this weekend, to get this vegan Big Mac Detroit style pizza from Grandma Bob's.
I love that if you win $100,000, you're going to have the Big Mac vegan pizza.
Yes. That's how we celebrate here.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I love that you're not like filet mignon. No, even if you're vegan. I mean, like, what's so funny is that, I don't know if you know this, but I've been vegan since 2014.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know. Although during the pandemic, I said, Jesus wants me to have brie. Because I was like, there's so many hard things. He wants me to have that. It's a joke. He doesn't really care if I have brie, but so I have had cheese during the pandemic. So you listen, we all had to survive, right? And the ways that we've had to survive,
right.
Mine has been melted cheese.
There
But
you go.
other than that, I understand the vegan connection very well. But even I would probably order like a lobster, just because I'd be like,
Right.
hey, I mean, that's what fancy people do when they win $100,000, or buy a yacht. But you know, that's just me.
We're going to get the purple carrots from Whole Foods.
Oh,
do
see.
it up big.
Do it up big.
Look
I'm
at
feeling
you.
the peer pressure to become vegan now.
I
guys.
mean, Samantha, we're going to kick you out of our club. We're going to be like Tina Fey and Mean Girls, and we're going to, we wear pink on Wednesdays and we eat vegan. So Samantha, what about you? What are some great places that you found in Philadelphia that have been, I don't know, surprising or exciting?
So they actually have a lot of breweries here. We are out in a little town called Downingtown, about an hour outside of Philly, close to the farms. And there's Victory Brewing, and then there's a couple other local breweries, but those have been really fun. And they're just incredible to see, like, I don't know, how the actual beer is made, and all the food is super farm fresh. So that's my
That's right,
little
'cause you live on a farm.
indulgence. Almost, yeah, almost. But, you know, good date night spot.
Yeah, no kidding. Because there's like, well, and then the food always tastes good, right? If you're at a brewery, or just like, well, we've drank so much beer.
Yeah, this is delicious.
This is the best thing I've ever had.
Yes.
Left the
So-
kids at home.
Exactly.
That's right.
So if you win the $100,000, what will you be eating, Samantha? I want to know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I do it up big with the ice cream. I'm a big ice cream girl. So, you know, like, I think now they're selling those little pints for like $10. You
Yeah.
can probably get the fancy pints.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you're going to go like Magnum. Like you're going to go like really.
Oh, yeah. The
Okay.
cracks, there's like a new, you squeeze it and it like cracks the top, but you have to let it sit out for 10 minutes. I saw on the label.
That's a lot of work for ice
That
cream.
is
I was
a lot.
like-
I couldn't wait the 10 minutes.
I know. Why am I buying this ice cream? Like, I want to eat it now.
I think you now have your pitch. You're really welcome that I helped you for your OSV Innovation Challenge.
With our 100,000, we will buy ice cream.
I think you're gonna.
That's what every girl needs.
I feel good about it, you guys. Like I feel like this is a reason to give to women. All women can identify with ice cream. So, all right. One big question that I ask all my guests is, I try to really inspire everybody to be extraordinary. And so I ask the guests that come on, what gave you permission to be extraordinary? Look, we're all women, married, kids. Some of us aren't married. Some of us haven't gone to college. Some of us I don't know who's listening. Some of us are men listening. My husband. But what is it that gave you permission, ladies, to be extraordinary? Because Emily, you even have another project called Real+True, and that's hitting the airwaves literally like right now. But how do you do that? How do you say, you know what, I'm gonna step out bigger than just myself?
Yeah, this is maybe such a cliche answer, but a lot of it was like the people who would like believe in me too. Not necessarily that they would believe in me to become so extraordinary, but just believe in me to go after like my own dreams or the things that God was calling me to. And I think those have been the moments that have changed my life, that when I've questioned myself the most, whether it's a tiny task, like how am I just going to get this assignment done at work, or something big like pitching a global project or wanting to change the what the world and church looks like for women through FemCatholic, the people who have always been there and be like, yeah, like let's go for it, let's do this, or shoot your shot, that's always made a world of difference. And Sam has actually been one of those people. I mean, the way Sam has painted this vision for how we can better reach out and support to women in the church and serve women and serve the church in that way has been one of those moments that's changed my life to say, okay, I'm all in on this. Let's figure out how to do it and how can I give 200% to this effort as many days as I can. And one of the things I think it's so great about the FemCatholic mission is that we really want to empower other women to do the same. We want other women to read FemCatholic and think, okay, I'm going to go for this. There's a place for me here. There's a place to change the world, to change the way my parish community looks, to change the way I bring my faith to work and all those things. So I think that it's really come down to just those little connections with other people. Also, extreme extrovert talking here. I wouldn't have taken any steps forward without someone else pulling me along the way. So
I love it. No, I get that as an extrovert. My mom said she always had to push me on stage, and then once I was there, I was good to go. So Samantha, how about you? What gives you permission to be extraordinary?
I think just saying yes to yourself and believing that you can have big dreams. Like it is cliche, but I think like it's totally my dream to run a media platform for women in Catholicism and speaking into their normal lives and our everyday lives. It almost seems like too good to be true. And I think you just have to believe that, like, no, you can do that in life and you only have one life to live.
That's what we believe.
right.
Yeah.
Good. You ladies really are Catholic. That was fantastic.
Trick question. Yeah.
No, I think that's wonderful. And if you ever need a female late night show, you let me know.
Our whole media empire.
So when we come back, ladies, I want to play a game with you both. We're going to take a little break, but you two don't go anywhere. Don't go get pizza or farm food. We'll be right back. But everyone who is tuned in, thank you, and come right back because you are listening and watching It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison, and we are previewing, I guess is the right word, the first time ever. This is called Whirl of Fun. Well, that's what it's called online. So Whirl of Fun. And it's great, you guys. I bought it on Amazon, and it kind of goes with my branding. But it comes with a chalk marker, and you can write on it, and then you can erase it and use it over and over again. And so I thought, I've got the FemCatholic ladies. I'm here with Emily and Samantha. And I thought, okay, well, let's put some lady saints on the Whirl of Fun. I don't know why it's not called Wheel of Fun. I'm sure there's like a copyright. I don't know. And I'm going to like flick it. Can you hear that?
We can
you hear that? Yes. He can hear that? Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
You guys, that sounds like it's like we're on that show.
Wheel of Fortune?
That's legit.
Wheel of Fortune.
That's legit.
But we're not, because instead of a trip to Iceland, you won St. Catherine of Siena.
Ooh.
So do either of you have anything that you love about St. Catherine of Siena, that like a little fun fact or a quote or just anything about her? You could say, I really liked her hair color. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. But that's who you got.
Do you want to go?
Or does it pass?
Okay. Oh, I can go. She used her voice to tell people what to do. Now, see, I'm blanking. I'm thinking, was she a lay woman? And I'm like second guessing myself, Liv. It's like a bad first date where I'm awkward.
I just came across a quote we posted in the fall from her the other day. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, this was one that we posted in the fall that like really spoke to us. A quote from her. She said, "He will provide the way and the means such as you could never have imagined. Leave it all to him and let go of yourself." And she's a doctor of the church. I felt like that was just that's a good one for now, a year later, with leading up to the challenge of like, if there's a way, if God has big dreams for FemCatholic, if he has a plan for FemCatholic, then like he will provide the means, whether it's through the OSV Innovation Challenge or some other way. So
that was perfect. That was amazing. I loved it. Let's see if we can.
I cheated a bit.
This is the most fun thing that you can cheat. This is absolutely fantastic. This is okay. You both have heard of her. Okay, I promise. She might have been the birth mother of our Lord and Savior, Mother Mary. So what's a fun fact? Let me hear something that we don't normally, what do you love about Mother Mary that maybe isn't the normal, she, didn't sin. She was Jesus's mom. But what's something that you're like, what I really like about her? What's something that you love about Mother Mary?
I think she's kind of sneaky, okay? This is my take on how I think Mary's a little sneaky because, you grow up hearing about how she's so obedient and you're like imagining this like, what is it, Handmaid's Tale-esque woman, but like with blue instead of red. And the thing is that like the devil is so tricky and you never really know what he's doing or if it's like God's power and this obedience is like her secret weapon. And she's like over in the corner, like, don't mind me, I'm just Mother Mary, but then she's like, boom, crush the head of the snake.
Sneaky Mary. That's what they called her, and they didn't. That's not true at all. No one called her that. I just got 3 more years of purgatory for that joke.
For that joke. Oh no.
Just for that joke. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, go save someone today. Okay, let's see if we can get someone else. Let's see who else is that. Isn't this fun? The whirl of
stressful
of fun. Huh. Oh, this one's hard. This was Anna, my executive producer, said Saint Hildegard. I got to be honest, I don't really know any. Oh, y'all both got excited. Y'all were like, we're
Saint
smart
Hildegard.
and pretty. Oh, well, great. So this
one
is
she's awesome.
What do you love about Saint Hildegard?
Well, she's another doctor of the church, but she was like such a Renaissance woman. She did so many things. She did like philosophy and music writing and mathematician. Like she was was she a professor like back in the day too? She accomplished so many things, including her theological writing. And like she wasn't like one of those, some of the other doctors of the church, they're a little bit more modern. She was like back in like almost the dark ages back in the day and still such a baller. So she was one of the true pioneers of women in the church and early female saints. And so we are a big fan of her.
Yeah, she was also like the original essential oils woman.
Yeah. So she would have been
doctor of the church, doctor of essential oils.
Yeah.
But she was really into like medicine and herbs and how to use herb. I don't know what that's called. I'm an accountant,
herbalist?
but yeah, I think so.
And would she have had CBD oil? That's what I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she might have.
CBD, yeah.
But it'd be interesting to know if she'd be Young Living or doTERRA, or like which one would she be? That'd be amazing. She would probably be the CEO of her own like her own Hildy brand. It'd be like
Hildy brand. See, watch out, we're gonna start another company.
Hildy's oils.
Liv will give you 10%.
Yay, because I just got purgatory time, so I could use the money. That's not how that works. So I love that you know that about her, and she would have really loved 2021. I mean, this is her era. She was just a little ahead of her time. Ladies, this has been so fantastic. We are going to be praying for you. We are going to invoke all of these lady saints for the will of God, let's be honest, whoever he wants to win the OSV challenge. But congratulations on what you're doing, and congratulations on all your projects. Real+True, we have some video of that coming up, and both of you women, honestly, I'm getting a little emotional. You both really inspire me. So know that you've made a difference to one woman, and I really look up to both of you. So thank you for this time. We're praying for you. Everybody go check out FemCatholic.com, and best of luck and all of our love. You guys come back, because this is It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.
Hi, my name is Emily Mentok, and I'm one of the co-founders of Real+True, a new global apostolate all around the Catechism. You might think that with a title like that, I've been a lifelong, passionate advocate for the Catechism of the Catholic Church, but actually, like most Catholics, I saw it as a big, intimidating textbook for most of my life. That's because I actually had to buy this copy of it for a high school religion class in which we used it as a textbook. So while I studied it and had certain paragraphs memorized and learned about my faith, I was never really presented the information in a way that would help me to have a true encounter with Jesus or come to know and love God through learning about my faith, through catechesis. That all changed when I got a little bit older and I met my friend Edmund Mitchell, who's now one of my partners for this project. He helped me see that the Catechism is more than a collection of ideas or a set of rules like many perceive it as, and it's actually a beautiful gift from the church to provide clarity around the truths of our faith. And it's a universal resource that's intended for really everyone in the world, whether you're a bishop that can use it for instructing the faithful, or if you're a person who's just looking for answers that the Catholic Church has to offer. This is a gift for everyone. It's just that when it looks like this, it's a bit intimidating and we don't know how to use it. So we started dreaming up with another co-founder, Edmundo Reyes, a way to bring the Catechism to life for the modern world. We met in Dallas and shared our different experiences with the Catechism we'd had over the years, and shared about like other kinds of content from Catholic and non-Catholic sources that have helped us encounter Jesus throughout our lives. Through all of that brainstorming, we were able to come up with Real+True, which is a project that uses video content and social media content to unlock the beauty and truth of the Catechism for the modern world. We're funded by OSV and the generosity of a lot of other people to make this a free resource for people all over the globe. We literally were able to launch in English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. And these videos follow a sound catechetical method, but in a way that feels relatable, approachable, and rewards curiosity. We have them available on our website, Real+True.org, as well as on our social media channels, Real+True, except on Instagram, it's Real++True. So check it out and share it with your friends. You'll see the Catechism in a way, hopefully you'll see the Catechism in a way that you've never really considered before, because it's presented in a way that's relevant to your life and will then make the book less intimidating when you do decide to go back to it. So check it out, Real+True.org, and unlock the Catechism for the modern world.
This is the Catechism of the Catholic Church. It's the official summary written by the Church of everything Catholics believe. But here's the problem. For most people, the Catechism feels like a textbook. It's big and intimidating. Is it relevant to my life today? Where should I start? Will I understand it? Do I need to read the whole thing? So it just sits on the shelf collecting dust. But if the contents of this catechism are unlocked, it can change the world. We believe the Catechism isn't a dry, dusty textbook. It's a gift. It's the faithful echo of a God who desires to reveal himself to us. The heart of the Catechism is Jesus, and Jesus changes people. We just need to retransform the Catechism into a living voice that people can hear. So we're setting out to help unlock the Catechism. We're transforming the letter into a living voice for the modern world. We're creating videos, stories, animations, podcasts, social media. We're creating content that's relevant, watchable, the type of content you want to share with your friends. And all of this will be free to the world and translated into multiple languages: English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, to help people fall in love with the Catechism, the Church, and the heart of the Catechism, Jesus. Visit Real+True.org and join the movement. Join us and help unlock the Catechism for the world. Join in the project to retransform the letter into a living voice.
Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. And you guys, thanks for tuning into this really special edition, kind of highlighting an exciting thing happening in the church, the OSV Innovative Challenge. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's already happened. And see who won if you don't already know. But support these incredible people in our church that are doing some pretty big innovative things. You heard from the FemCatholic ladies, Emily and Samantha. And then Emily is in another project called Real+True. You just saw some video, or you heard the video of what they're doing. And that also actually is in connection with OSV. Real+True is taking on, as you saw and heard, the Catechism in a really fresh, new millennial way. So yes, today was a little bit more, I don't know, journalistic-y. That's not a word. See, I was trying to put a little Liv spin on it. But sometimes we do have to pause and really give some time to some incredible people and things happening in our church. And it was such an honor to spotlight these women and these projects, and I need you to go out there and support them. So FemCatholic, Real+True, and go look up OSV. That's our Sunday Visitor and all the good works they're doing. You guys, thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, for watching, for being here every week. I will see you soon. I want to thank JW and the entire crew of It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.